The question of does money buy happiness is one that's been around for a while now, and quite honestly, the answer that's really popular is just flat out incorrect. It's technically true that money can't buy you happiness, right? Because you could be rich and still be unhappy, and you could be poor and be happy. But practically speaking, um, right, it's only when you talk in absolutes are those things true. But when you talk about from a probability standpoint, money certainly buys happiness in the sense that the more money you have, the less likely you are to be unhappy. The other uh, misconception about it, which has recently been debunked, was that there's a cutoff or diminishing returns at something around like $100,000 a year, where as soon as you reach that, you don't really get much happier if you start making more than that, and that's simply not true. One of the reasons that money does buy happiness from a practical standpoint is it alleviates one of the biggest concerns that most people have, and that's paying bills on time or having enough money to pay bills. And actually, finances are one of the biggest causes of divorces as well, and so it obviously can put a strain on a marriage. So any increase in your income means that you have less stress about bills, or you're able to go on more extravagant vacations, or you don't have to worry about if your car breaks down and what's going to happen if that it alleviates a lot of the stuff that life can throw at you, and it kind of nullifies them, right? It's like if you're poor and your car breaks down, you could be screwed. If you're making really good money and your car breaks down, it still sucks, but it's not as damaging in the long term. They don't want the vast majority of people thinking that they're missing out on a lot of life simply because they can't afford it. The idea that money doesn't buy happiness is one of those things where it's technically true, but practically speaking and from a probabilistic standpoint, it does. And so if anyone ever says it doesn't, what they're trying to do is they don't want you to strive to do better. They want you to be content. It'd be like if it'd be like your boss telling you, yeah, money doesn't make you happy, but you know he makes $500,000 a year and you make 50. Of course, he doesn't want you to think that money doesn't buy happiness, because then otherwise you would be advocating for pay increases, or you'd start looking elsewhere, right? It benefits a lot of people, or well, a minority of people, to convince the majority that making more money won't make them happy. It's technically true, like I said, it is technically true. You're not going to magically become happier just because you have more money, but it's going to be way less likely that you'll be unhappy, because it alleviates a lot of the stuff that would make you unhappy, and because it alleviates a lot of the stuff that causes you stress. Whereas, if you're paying bills as someone who's very poor, I mean, it's extremely stressful. If you then, gave that person a 10x increase in their salary, I mean, almost all of their stress would be gone. And so, did it buy their happiness directly? No, but it alleviates a lot of the stuff that doesn't cause, you know, it alleviates a lot of the stress that would cause them to be unhappy. Obviously, it's worth noting too. I mean, if you get a massive increase in your income, but you also proportionally increase your expenses, you haven't really changed your life. You've changed your lifestyle, but you're not going to have any more money to play with, right? So this is one of the reasons why like lottery winners usually end up going broke, because they either incorrectly think that they have an unlimited amount, or it's people who are bad with money to begin with are the ones playing the lottery. Don't ever let anyone tell you that money does not buy happiness, because while it's technically true, it's practically nonsense. If you had $100 million in your bank account, you would feel a lot different than if you had zero. If it takes you more than 5 minutes to apply to hundreds of jobs, you're wasting your time. Sign up at jobhelper.cc and let AI do the work for you.